Welcome to Inhales with Keni Silva, and today's guest is a registered dietitian who loves to help people live a healthier life. But before that, she had to overcome an anxiety and depression. Welcome, Diana Orozco.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And I want to start from, I think, the biggest question I have. How did you know that you had an anxiety and depression?
I would say because growing up, I was just very timid. I was by myself a lot. My parents would always observe me just kind of on the couch, just sitting there being very sad. Anytime they would ask me, do you want to go out or go do something? I just never really felt like the urge to go do it. I just wanted to be alone the whole time.
And how old were you at that time?
I was probably like in middle school.
Oh, wow.
Like maybe 6th or 7th grade around that time. And it's kind of funny because whenever you tell somebody you're going through that, they just tell you, oh, just don't think about it. But it's not that easy. So I was always told, just don't think about it. I started seeing
Well, you
therapists.
went to the doctor. They diagnosed you. So they actually put a medical condition. You have an anxiety disorder and you're suffering from depression. So of course, in middle school, as my son is 14, he just finished middle school. So you were probably 12, 13. And knowing that you had that and just don't think about it, it's a hard thing to say because first of all, you're not even an adult. You don't even know what it is. And I would also imagine if that's how you were feeling, and maybe you were feeling it for a very long time, at that point, you didn't even know what it is, how to be, I don't want to say normal, but how to feel different, correct?
Mm-hmm. Exactly that. And then I know that my doctor would always tell me too, maybe we should seek therapy. They wanted to put me like on all these medications, but I didn't feel right just going on medication without seeking therapy first. So I remember I went through seeing a therapist, my very first ever therapist. I felt very comfortable. I told her everything. And then I think where things kind of went down was, I think within maybe 3 months of our sessions, she had told me that she was going to leave the company. So I was going to have to go with a new therapist. So in my head, I'm like, I'm going to have to start all over, tell everyone again my whole story. And it just didn't feel right from then. And then I just had a bad experience where I saw a psychiatrist that was working there. I told her my problem, how I was feeling. And she told me just straight up, she's like, oh, you're not normal. You need all these medications. And right away, I'm just like, I know I'm not normal. That's why I'm here for seeking help. But that just didn't feel right to me.
I feel like a lot of times, and I have 2 teenagers, so trust me, I've been to the doctors for a lot of different reasons. And I feel like it's so much easier for them to give you a pill and say, okay, this will help, versus go to the root and the cause, why it's happening to you. Because a lot of times what they're trying to do just to put a Band-Aid and wait until you're going to grow out of it, especially at a young age. And I would say even therapists, only just by telling the story, it makes it easy in some ways, but it doesn't really helps you to overcome this. So what happened then? How did you actually overcome? Or was your family helping out? How did you find that, perfect solution to deal with what you were going through on a daily basis?
Yeah. So my mom, after a while, my mom just kept observing me, just being at home, just not going out or anything. And she randomly just asked me, she's like, do you want to go with me to church? There's this lady that does prayers for people. So I just told him, like, well, might as well. I'm just here on the couch. So I went with her. And as soon as I sat down, we went to a church. And as soon as I sat down on the chair, the lady that does the prayers, she came up to me. She's like, your mom brought you here for your anxiety. And right away, like my eyes just like lit up. And I was like, how did she know that? And she was like doing prayer over me. And she was telling me all these things. And she was telling me that God is going to liberate me from this, that I'm going to find a community of women, that I'm not going to be stuck here. And it feels like it's something that's going to be going on forever, but it's a temporary obstacle in my life right now. So I would feel that's where it all started. Slowly from that, I started seeking community.
That's a beautiful story. And then when you were a teenager, did you ever have thoughts about harming yourself? Or that you don't want to live that life anymore? What's the point when there is no joy, there is no happiness?
Yeah, actually, it was pretty recent during COVID. I was going through a really, really tough time during that time. And during COVID, they weren't seeking, or therapists were not seeking clients at that time. I was seeking therapy.
So you
again.
were relying on that therapist.
Mhm.
Once you started, it was helping you in some way.
Yeah, it was helping me a lot. But then during COVID, since a lot of clients or a lot of therapists were not seeking clients anymore, everything was closed down and everything, I just felt more isolated again. And it got to the point where I was thinking to myself, how should I end my life? Should I jump off like a mountain, or should I just drive off like a cliff or something? And I was just thinking about that. I reached out to this woman that I found online. She was like a therapist. I sent her an email, and I would say within an hour, she actually called me because I put my number on there. But she called me. I sent an email to maybe 10 of them. That woman reached out. I started seeing her. She rented out a building that was near her house. So she was doing free counseling for me every week for maybe like 6 months or so.
Wow.
So she was
an angel.
That's what I told her. Yeah, I told her she was an angel, and I told her she saved my life. I still have her number. So sometimes I still text her, at least like for Christmas or the holidays. So she would see me every single week. And my parents didn't even know that I was going to this. I would just tell them that I'm just going out maybe to the gym or going out for a walk or something. But I was going to see her every week.
And why didn't you want to tell your parents? Were you afraid, or you thought that maybe they don't understand you well?
I think I was more so like afraid during that time because I was always still very timid and very shy. But when I started seeing her, I started opening up very slowly. I'm not the type of person to kind of go to my family or go to friends and seek for help. I kind of try to seek for help on my own.
Which is very admirable because, you know, a lot of people rely on others to help, to come and save them. And you actually were doing it on your own, finding your own path to healing. And did you have friends at the time?
Yeah, I had a lot of friends that they would always keep up with me, or they would ask me, how are you doing? And I would tell them like, oh, I'm seeking therapy, I'm doing this. And then they would always tell me like, if you need anything, let me know. So sometimes I would meet up with them. We'd go out to brunch and just catch up.
But when you, as a teenager, going through, you know, something like that, that just, to me, because a lot of people, I think, don't understand what depression really is. Because they see people like you know, maybe from outside, you're just shy and you don't talk a lot. But what's going on actually inside? Like, what's the signs of depression? You just wake up and you're not happy. You don't want to do things. What is it?
I would say you're just like very unmotivated to get up. You're almost thinking like, what's my purpose? What am I doing here? And then during that time, I also had a job where everybody was just in very like cliques. It felt like very isolating too. So I didn't get along with certain people in that job too. So when I'm at home, I just didn't feel good. When I would go to work, I also didn't feel good. So I'm like, well, I don't feel good no matter where I'm at.
I see. Because I feel like, especially right now, teenagers or young adults or even grown-ups, you know, they have an anxiety or depression. But because maybe it's mild, maybe it's, you know, it becomes a part of their life, they don't realize that they actually need help. And that's why I ask you, like, how does it actually feel for a person to start thinking like, well, maybe that's what I have. Maybe I wake up every day happy and go into work that I don't love. Maybe it's because something is wrong. It's not that the life is so sad. And that's why I always look at things that sometimes you meet somebody and you know, you make an opinion of them, but you don't really know what's happening. And the whole point, which I love about my show, to give people a different perspective of something. Maybe, you know, somebody is listening to us today and say, you know what, maybe I'm not happy, not because the life is so bad around me, maybe because I have to fix something. And that's why you explaining what it is for others can open that door or the path to healing.
Yeah, I feel like a big part of that was mostly, I was always thinking like, what is my purpose? What do I genuinely enjoy in life? What do I want to do? I just felt very, very
There
alone.
was nothing like a hobby that you were excited about. There was no excitement.
Makeup. Yeah. I really enjoyed makeup at that time. So I also eventually started going to makeup school. So I feel like that kind of helped me. And I started seeing, okay, maybe there is a little bit more to my life. And I felt like during that age,
opened that window of possibility. It has to be better.
Mm-hmm. And I think during that age too, you're also discovering who you are.
Yes. And it's hard. Were you looking for high school, or how was high school for you?
High school, I would say, was a little bit the same. And then there was definitely like some bullying that was there. There was also like some, I want to say like fake friendships that were there too. Just like a lot of friends that I felt like would be there for me. But in the end, when I needed them, they just really weren't there. Or they would just kind of stop talking to you after some time or things like that. So that would also, I feel like that affected me a lot. Like I had some friendships where I started thinking to myself, this is going to be my best friend forever. We would go to each other's houses. We built a lot of connections, a lot of memories. And then just like the very next day, she just cut me off completely, no explanation. And I was just thinking to my head, like, what did I do? Am I a bad person? Because I was never told why she just stopped talking to me. So during that time, I was like, okay, well, I put so much time into this friendship that when she cut me off, I felt like I was left with nothing.
But I feel like, honestly, having a teenage daughter, and I always tell her, I'm like, don't take anything serious, because you all in this journey to finding who you guys are. And there is days that all of you go through, through stages, like today we're best friends, tomorrow we're not, today you want one, and you're going through hormones.
Mm-hmm.
So I would give my daughter, because she started high school, and she actually the first year she was homeschooled, and then she started high school. I'm like, don't take anything serious. Don't overthink these things. It's just a temporary situations. And then after a few years, you're going to see who's your true friend. Just enjoy the moment. And, but back to what were you going through? So you never took pills?
Mm-mm, never.
And how did you know when you were recovered? Or is there such a thing to be recovered from an anxiety and depression? Or there's times when it's still, you feel that maybe you have those moments or days?
Oh, definitely. So the way I know that I was recovered, so the whole time when I was going through that, because for me, I would go through a lot through meditation, through prayer, and that would help me a lot. Yeah, that helped me a lot. So when I was praying a lot, I would always pray for a community of women, because I've always wanted a community of women since I always felt so isolated. And then at my church, I got offered to be like a women's Bible study leader. And I've never been a leader like that. I'm always on the shy, quiet side. So I was like, this is a really huge step for me. I'm going to take it. So I did it. I actually did this 2 years ago. So I was a women's Bible study leader for all the young women. And I think it was like a group of 6 or 7 of us. And now from time to time, we plan little outings, little dinners. And I always think to God, I'm like, this is what I was asking for that community of women. So now I'm a part of like different communities for like other churches around my neighborhood too. And I just have like a group of women that I can go to now. And you could just tell it's very genuine. They'll text me from time to time. They'll call me. I started feeling a lot better. And then that's where the part of me studying nutrition that also helped, because there's a big connection with the gut and the brain. So I started researching that, and I'm working on healing my gut still right now. And I'm noticing a lot of the anxiety and the mental health improve with that.
Oh, wow. That's so interesting. So before we're going to get into this whole other part of you and your life, if somebody is going through an anxiety or depression right now, what would you tell them the first steps to do? What helps you in that moment?
I would say definitely seeking community first. Mm-hmm. That way, you're not alone, because it's really hard to do it when you're alone. You feel like you're the only person in the whole world going through it. You feel like nobody cares. So I would say seeking community, however that looks like, whether it's at a local church, that might be a little bit easy. There might be other women too that are also seeking that community that you are. So I would say that would probably be the best step, is going to like a local church.
And then a meditation and a little prayer. That helps too.
It does.
So let's get now to your nutritionist thing. So how did you start doing it? Just because you wanted to help yourself with your mental health?
So that was in college. Originally, I wanted to be a nurse. But then I always heard that it was very difficult to be a nurse and that it was just very competitive. So then I took a nutrition class, because they told me either take nutrition or take art. I was like, well, I can't draw, so I'm going to take nutrition. So I took that class, and my professor was a registered dietitian. I had no idea what that was. She explained it to me. I thought it was very interesting. So then in my head, I'm like, well, I could still help people, not in the same way as a nurse, but I can help them with their diet, their lifestyle, and exercise.
Which affects everybody every day, unless you go to the hospital, the nurse is only there, but you can help everybody.
That's what I love about it. And then for men, women, all stages of life. So I've been doing that ever since. And then I started learning more about the gut health. There's a gut-brain connection. Lots of times when people are anxious, depressed, or any type of mental health issue, a lot of it is in the gut. So they always say the gut is your second brain too.
So how can you quickly fix it, or maybe not quickly fix your gut to help your mental health?
I would say the best way would probably be to seek like a registered dietitian. So there's a lot of, if you have health insurance, you can always ask your doctor to refer you to see one, and then they can help you the best. They can do a nutrition assessment, get some supplements. You can also do some gut testing, which I've done. Sometimes there's like
what is
an
the
imbalance.
gut testing is? What does it reveal? The food that you cannot eat, or just overall health of your gut?
So it's like a stool test, and then you send that into the lab. They get the results, and then they'll show you if you have any pathogens, worms, parasites, and it shows you how much good gut bacteria you have compared to bad gut bacteria.
I see. So first you have to get to the base if your gut is healthy or not. If you have some other things going on there, then they go into fixing it, right? And for everyday foods, what foods are really nutritious for your gut?
I would say definitely single food ingredients. So foods that don't have an ingredients label. So things like your fruits, your veggies, your meats.
But is it raw? Because now you read so many things. You read that raw vegetables is not good for you. It's better if they're cooked already. You read, there's so much information, especially on TikTok and Instagram. Like every day I open something like, okay, this is 5 foods to eat for longer life, healthier life. And then the next day you read something else, and it's becoming so confusing.
It is. And that's where seeking like a registered dietitian is helpful. Because a lot of people now, coaches, even programs for nutrition, a lot of people, so this is the thing that I think people need to know. So like a nutritionist, any nutritionist certification, you can take like a 1-week course, a 1-month course, and they give you certification. To be a dietitian, you need a master's degree. You need a 1,200-hour supervised internship. You also need to pass a state exam.
Oh, wow.
So you have
that's a big difference. Okay, so if it's just, what do they call this? So a coach for eating. I don't know how they, this is not a real thing. So don't trust those people because that's why I think the confusion comes in, because you listen to too many things these days and everything obviously is online and one contradicts the other. And then when you start following one, then another, and at the end, you just bloated basically, not just with food, with information.
I have a lot of clients and they'll tell me, I saw this online, I saw that. I know another person told me, oh, my coach told me that bananas are bad for you. And I'm like, that makes no sense. I've had somebody follow the carnivore diet and then they got a heart attack a year later.
Oh, wow. So, that's a big one actually now. And because I used to not eat a lot of meat, and then my esthetician told me you should start eating more meat because it's really good for your skin and your body. So now, I guess Instagram and TikTok, once you start talking about one subject, they show you more and more information about that. So now it's all about that. But I personally believe that if we are in 2000, that 2000 years ago, our bodies were eating everything, meaning like meats and vegetables and fruits. And that's what we should be eating. I don't think we should eliminate certain things. I'm not talking about, the like breads or pastas that were made, but that was from the nature that can, right?
Exactly. That's where like the single ingredient foods, the whole foods come from. Those are the ones that would be best. You can also do, so I actually did it. It's like a food sensitivity test. It's a blood draw. So they take some blood out and then they test you with like over 170 foods and it'll tell you what foods are causing inflammation. So I did that. And for me, it said avocados and strawberries.
Oh, wow.
Very oddly enough. And I was eating those like almost every day. So they told me, because I'm seeing like another program right now, they told me to cut those out temporarily for about 6 weeks. Right now, I'm working on healing my gut. And then in a few weeks, I can slowly reintroduce it because technically my body shouldn't be reacting to those. But I also had some bad gut bacteria, so I'm working on that.
So once you fix your gut bacteria, then you can continue eating.
If you want to. Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's how it works. And the people who come to you, mainly, they want to live a healthier life, or it's because they want to lose weight?
Either or. So I have some people that tell me they want like a dietitian. So I see them maybe like once every 2 to 3 weeks. They want that accountability. They also feel comfortable with I sometimes give them meal plans if I feel like that's something that's good for them. I help them with sustainable habits. It could be as simple.
What is sustainable habits?
Yeah, so those are going to be habits that are going to stick with you for the rest of your life. So if somebody tells you, they have a lot of those like 30-day challenges, and they'll tell you, oh, don't eat sugar for 30 days. That's not sustainable because then after 30 days, you're going to go back to eating sugar.
Why everybody tells you not to eat sugar? Like I don't indulge in it, but I like sugar in my coffee. I would never, stop doing it because I think, and I personally believe that everything is good in moderation, and when somebody's like, well, we're not doing sugar, like I never eat sugar. I'm like, well, I don't really have sugar cravings, but there's certain things like my coffee, I cannot even imagine having it without sugar. And then once in a while I want a piece of chocolate. So why is it so bad?
I would say it depends on the person. So like if somebody's already having health issues, there's like a bacteria called Candida that thrives on sugar. So if you have elevated Candida in your gut and you're eating sugar, you're feeding it sugar. So it's just going to continue to grow. So I would say once your gut is fixed, if you want to have a little bit sugar, just like you said, in moderation, it should be good. I know if there's people that are dealing maybe with like acne or inflammation or bloating, then the sugar might make it worse.
Got it. So the sugar makes the acne, the inflammation worse. What's the good foods for inflammation to go down?
Definitely anti-inflammatory, things like ginger, turmeric, lots of fruits and veggies. Those are going to be like the best ones.
So for healthy living, what would you suggest the 3 things that people should follow? Either, and I'm not talking about just eating certain things, maybe just, the portion control or eating more organic foods or, instead of having like processed food, which we all know we're not supposed to eat. But what do you think is the 3 main things?
I would say definitely getting your water. At least 64 ounces. If you can do more, great. And then
water is just water? It can be a tea. It can be something else. So it has to be water.
The tea would count.
Okay.
The tea would definitely count. Just anything that you're using water.
Okay.
And then I would also say getting some steps in. There's a lot of research that shows at least 7,000 steps a day is just as beneficial as getting 10,000. Before, it used to be strict to get 10,000, but the research says 7,000 is sufficient. Okay. So I would say your water, getting your steps in, and then making sure you're having a balanced meal, making sure you're having some carbs, healthy fats, protein, and veggies.
Why they say that women after a certain age have to eat more protein? It's like, even my daughter, Mom, you need to eat more protein. Mom, you need to eat more protein. I'm like, oh my God. And I just love vegetables and fruits. I'm not vegan. I don't, I eat, but I cannot eat so much protein. And I hate powders. That's not me. I don't think it's even good for anybody. But it's like, why?
Yeah. So especially for women, after a certain age, our muscle starts to decline. And then for women, we're also more at risk for osteoporosis, hip fractures after a certain age. And I think it's also beneficial for women when they start to hit perimenopause and menopause.
Got it. So there's all these benefits and how many grams of protein?
I would say, depending on the person, how active they are, but they always say at least like 1 gram per pound. So if you're like 130, I would say try to aim for maybe like 130 max. There's a lot of people that try to eat more than what they weigh, but there isn't really much benefit. I would say no. There isn't that much benefit.
What was that diet that's keto diet? That's based on protein, correct?
The keto diet?
Yes.
Yeah. For that, and it's like high fat foods.
And is it good for you or not?
Definitely not, because then you're messing out your veggies, and then you're also at risk for getting high triglycerides, high cholesterol, plaque in your arteries. It can cause or put you more at risk for like a stroke.
Because that was, I remember a couple years ago, it was so big. Everybody was on keto diet. And now they all have, it's like you can see the whole shelf of keto breads, keto everything.
Yeah, the keto diet was actually made for people with epilepsy.
Oh, really?
So that's when it's recommended and under medical supervision.
Why for kids with epilepsy?
So it does the high fat content, I think it does something with the epilepsy. So you're not getting seizures so often, but it's not really recommended for us regular people. And again, it's not sustainable because I don't think the keto diet is something somebody can do for the rest of their life.
Yes. No, I personally don't believe in diets because exactly why you said, it's so hard to be on a diet forever. And I definitely don't want to be constantly thinking about, like, oh my God, I can eat this, I cannot eat this. I want to live a healthy, but also beautiful life when I can go and eat whatever. Why do you think for so many people, it's so hard to eat healthy?
I think a lot of it has to do with the way society is now too. Like my mom would tell me back when she was growing up, her mom would make everything. Her mom would make tortillas from scratch. Yes. Her own beans, nothing was canned. None of those products existed back then. And I think now we rely a lot on quick, convenient foods. There's a lot of packaged things, a lot of frozen meals. And for us, it just sounds, and it is a lot easier to just grab it and just heat it up. But we don't really think of the nutritional value. If you look at the ingredients list, it's a big list of all these words that you can't even pronounce.
Well, I feel also nobody's cooking these days.
No, they're not.
It's so rare to hear somebody, do you want to come over for dinner and we'll be cooking? Mm-hmm. Everything is brought in or quick and, frozen things. And I mean, I understand sometimes there is a convenience, especially if you have like children, there's not a lot of time, but it also, I feel like in America, it's a culture. Mm-hmm. And I was born in Russia, so we cook a lot. We still cook a lot at my house. But here, I think the whole culture is based on fast and convenience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a very fast lifestyle.
Yes.
Here, my mom said the exact same thing. So my mom, she still cooks at home, and I've gotten in the habit of cooking too ever since becoming a dietitian. And to be honest, before I wasn't like that. I was always eating out. I didn't want to cook at home or anything like that. But now, once you start eating at home and cooking your own meals, you just notice that outside food just does not taste the same. I don't crave those foods anymore either.
How can you be healthy when you go out, like in the restaurant? Like what to order to stay on that healthy path?
Definitely, you want to look at protein first. So first think about, did you want to eat something with chicken, beef, or fish? Pick your protein first. The protein is going to keep you the most full. Mm-hmm. And then after that, you want to grab a carb, whether it's like rice or potatoes, and then get some veggies. So those are going to make it more balanced. If you just get, for example, like a big bowl of pasta, a bunch of noodles, and a lot of times they have pasta dishes without a protein source, you're going to finish that whole plate. You're going to feel bloated.
What are the foods that make you actually bloated? And the reason I ask, because I hear these days a lot of people complain about that.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, I'd say eating a lot of carbs. Mm-hmm. Some people also don't have like the sufficient stomach acid. Mm. So sometimes when there's a little bit of stomach acid, it can make you a little bit more bloated. It also depends on the gut bacteria that's in your body.
So everything goes back to the gut bacteria.
Mm-hmm. Everything goes to gut bacteria.
And that's how your food gets digested. Mm-hmm. Do people have different metabolism based on their exercise routine, or some just genetically, burn faster the fat and metabolize?
It can be either or. I do have like a cousin who's very thin, and he just eats like a lot of fast food. And everybody wonders why he just doesn't seem to be gaining much weight. But then if you were to look at his gut, then there would be a lot of disbalance too, a lot of imbalance.
But still, it's just the way his metabolism is.
Mm-hmm. His metabolism is very quick.
And then you see other people, and especially kids these days, I feel like there's a lot of kids that are overweight. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember when I was that age that we had so many children, and now it is. Do you think it's because the way the food is, like you go to a grocery store, it's not the same as healthy as it was before?
I think so. I've seen little kids in elementary school with type 2 diabetes. pre-diabetes, liver issues, high cholesterol. A lot of it, I think, is like when you go to the grocery store, if you start looking, a lot of like the junk processed foods are going to be at your eye level. And a lot of the healthier foods are all the way at the bottom, and they do that on purpose.
Oh, wow. I never noticed that before. But now I'm going to pay attention.
Yeah, so they do that a lot. And when little kids go to the store, they're always going to want to get candy or soda or other things like that.
But I also, when I was going to school, and I was going to school in Moscow, we had for lunch, we had cooked meals, like a real sit-down cooked meals. My kids at school, it's all fast food type of things, or they have chips or like sodas. Even at school, it was more regulated, more nutritious food than these days.
Yeah, so the schools, something that I like about the school district for the foods, they have regulations. So instead of doing like white breads, white rice, they try to do more whole grain, even the pizzas.
For the public schools now. Wow, I didn't know. My kids were going to private schools. Now in high school, they go into public school, but they never eat lunch there. So I didn't even know that such a program exists, which is amazing.
They're trying to make that a little bit better. They're trying to do like less fattening foods, less greasy. I think their milks are also they're not doing like 2% or whole milk or anything like that. So they're trying to make it a little bit better, which I think is better than not eating anything. Because I also do have like a lot of kids that avoid eating at school because I feel like school lunches just have a really bad like reputation. People don't want to eat school lunches for some reason.
And you just said something about milk. Do you think that drinking milk will actually give you that calcium that they always talk about? Is it good or not? Because my both kids are milk intolerant. And I feel like a lot of people these days are milk intolerant.
Well, I know for a lot of us that are not like lactose intolerant, eventually at an older age, you start to become lactose intolerant. It can be very inflammatory. So I actually cut out all dairy. So for calcium, you can also do things like chia seeds. Other types of milk, like plant-based milks, can have some calcium. And worst case scenario, if you need a calcium supplement, you can definitely start one.
So it's not what they say, drink a cup of milk. You know, I feel like these days milk actually is not as good for you than it's beneficial, right?
It's hard to pick up the milks because I know a lot of the cows too, they're felt like they are fed growth hormones, medications, and then we're ingesting that too.
And I also noticed that a lot of kids these days are allergic to gluten. Why is that? Is gluten that bad for you?
A lot of it too. So it's processed a certain way, and then sometimes they spray it with like other types of sprays that are just not good for us. I'm also avoiding gluten myself as well. I did a testing that showed that my body did not like gluten. And I know gluten also irritates your gut lining, which can make you bloated. It can cause constipation, diarrhea, trapped gas, a bunch of health issues.
What about probiotics? Are they good for you?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And should everybody take them, even children?
I would say you can. Definitely. You can also do something like kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi. So you can do like fermented foods that naturally have, or yogurt as well. So those will naturally have
just
probiotics.
Regular yogurt.
You can.
Like I love yogurt. And so that will do it. But you have to eat it every day?
You can do it like every other day, or you can do like a probiotic every day too. I don't think probiotics are harmful at all.
So if I open your refrigerator, what foods would I find? Because I want to know what nutritionist actually has in her refrigerator.
You would see a lot of eggs, definitely some chicken, some lean ground beef, veggies. I do a lot of almond milk, yogurt as well. I love yogurts, sweet potatoes, and then white rice. So I always have
Why white rice, not brown rice? Or is it actually brown rice better than white rice?
So the brown rice definitely has more fiber, but I'm doing white rice right now because I'm working on healing my gut. So white rice is less irritating than brown rice because of the fiber.
I see.
Yeah. So once I heal my gut, then I'll go back to brown rice.
Wow, that's incredible. So what foods would you recommend for anyone? Because obviously everybody has different tastes. But what foods are really good for you that everybody should have at their home? So rice, right? Everybody loves rice.
You can do a rice. I would say a potato too. I prefer the sweet potato over the white potato. So the sweet potato, a little fun fact, but the orange color in the sweet potato is really good for women's ovaries.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I love learning new things. Okay, I always loved sweet potatoes, but now I know the reason, to love them more.
Yeah, I always do those too. And then for the potatoes and the rice, there's like a special process. So once you heat it up, once you cook it, and then you cool it in the fridge, and then you reheat it again to eat it later, it forms like a resistant starch so it doesn't spike your blood sugar. Because a lot of people are scared of eating carbs.
Yes, because if somebody wants to lose weight, usually they tell them no rice or no potatoes. Mm-hmm. So what do you think about that? If your client comes to you and says, you know what, I want to lose weight, but I want to live a healthy eating. And where's the balance between losing weight and healthy eating? Because I would imagine when you lose weight, you eliminate a lot of products.
Mm-hmm. I have a lot of clients that tell me that, and they tell me, I don't want to eat any rice, tortillas, potatoes. Like, why? You can. Don't be scared of those.
Okay, so it's good. It's good to eat them. Mm-hmm. Even if you do want to lose some weight, it's okay to eat them.
All in portion sizes.
Yes.
Yeah, portion sizes. So there's obviously a big difference if you eat a whole bowl of white rice versus doing maybe like half a cup of white rice. Like you could still enjoy the foods that you like, but it depends on how you pair it, the combinations. And then your brain also uses the sugar from carbs as energy. So if you don't eat any carbs at all, you're starving your brain essentially. And that's when people start to feel brain fog and they feel tired throughout the day.
Wow. So for somebody who just came to you and they want to lose weight, what would you tell them? How many times a day they should eat?
I would say at least 3 meals. And then if you want to do like one snack.
Like lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, like real meals. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then there is snacking in between. Do they have to count calories or no?
You can, or depending, like if you're working with a dietitian, then like for me, I count it for them. So I tell them exactly what to eat in the portions, if that's what they're looking for. If not, then I practice with them portion sizes, and then they visualize it, and then they can practice it on their own without having to count.
So the portions do help.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Making the portions small without even exercise. But I would imagine you would tell them, number one thing, they have to start exercising, right? Mm-hmm. Just the food alone, eliminated, is not going to help. I mean, it would to a certain extent, but it's not going to be good for them. So what's the portion size? Because everywhere, especially in the restaurants, they give you such a big portion that I'm always like, wow, like you can't finish it all. What's the portion would you recommend size-wise that's good for your lunch, breakfast, or dinner?
So they typically say like for your proteins, like chicken or beef, you want to do like your palm size.
Okay.
And then it can be like the thickness of a deck of cards for your protein. For like rice or potatoes, you want to do it at least like the size of your palm or a little bit less. And then veggies, you can do as many veggies as you want.
Oh, so there is no limit?
No limit at all.
Okay. And is there any, you know how they say sometimes like the breakfast should be a biggest meal of the day, then the lunch is half, or, is that true? Or does it have to be that way? All 3 meals can be exactly the same size.
I would recommend breakfast being bigger. And then you do want to have at least 25 grams of protein for breakfast. It just helps you throughout the day. It helps fight cravings. You feel more awake. It also helps with your muscle synthesis throughout the day. I would recommend dinner being a little bit lighter just because you're going to be going to sleep sooner. Your body doesn't have to work so hard to digest everything, in my personal opinion.
And when you eat so healthy, does it help you to sleep better?
It does. It helps you with and it goes back to your gut too. So if there's like an imbalance in your gut, it can be a little bit harder. There can be insomnia.
So the insomnia relates to gut issue too?
It can.
Wow. So I guess for everybody who is watching us today or listening, the first thing they need to do is to fix their gut. Mm-hmm. And how would somebody know something is wrong with their gut without going to the doctor, that they need to go?
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, I found out from the anxiety, the depression. I also had a lot of breakouts on my face, specifically like the jaw area. Mm-hmm. If for women, if there's any problems with your menstrual cycle, PMOS, which used to be PCOS for women, There could also be, for example, if you're feeling very bloated, a lot of excess weight, even if there's like less weight on you, if you're very thin as well. I feel like there's just so many ways that you can tell it's from your gut, and you might not even think it's your gut. Also, your hair thinning out.
I see. Well, that's I noticed with my hair, but I'm like, oh, it's related to hormones. Okay, well, thank you, Diana, so much for being here today and for educating us how to live not just a healthier life, but I guess enjoying what we eat. And I didn't even know that people who love rice and potato, we actually can do that. We can be healthy and happy, right?
Absolutely.
The food doesn't have to be, you know, a lot of people, especially when you hear the word diet, there's so much sadness around it because first of all, diet to me is equal to you deprive yourself from something. But healthy eating is not about that, right?
Yeah, I feel like when you hear the word diet, or if you say I'm going on a diet, people just have a certain like perception of what it is. And it just doesn't sound good. When you hear of diet, it just sounds like it's something so temporary. Like you're just doing it to shed off a few pounds and then you're going to go back to your lifestyle you were before.
That's how I always feel. That's why it's like, to me, you know, being on a healthier journey, it's much better because it implements the rest of your life. And now learning that you can actually eat rice, which I don't like rice, but I know so many people do, and they always avoid it because it's not good for them. But now we learned that you can eat it. And what about fasting? Is fasting good for your gut?
It's not good for women.
Really?
For women, no. For men, they are able to fast and like lose weight and for the most part be okay. But for women, I have a lot of women clients that they'll fast. So I had a woman that also did 1 meal a day for years. And then she ended up
with that intermediate fasting, they call it. And it was very popular. So wait, so what happens with that?
Yeah, so that actually messes with your hormones. So for her, she started developing a lot of like hormonal issues. She gained a lot of weight, which also causes stress, which we know stress isn't good. She also started dealing with anxiety herself, a lot of depression. So we're working on getting her to eat. For women, we should be eating I would say like about every 4 hours or so, because for us, we're more sensitive to that. And then we also need to be eating healthy fats because healthy fats produces hormones.
Okay. And healthy fats, what is it actually, healthy fats?
So avocado, nuts and seeds, avocado oil, extra virgin olive oil. Those are going to be our healthy fats.
I love that. I guess my body, because I swear, I always listen to my body. This morning I had avocado, then I had nuts. I always have nuts with me because I travel a lot or I'm always busy. So nuts, it's my everyday like safe food. And I guess I feel better after it. That's why I eat it. And of course I love it. So I guess my body, listening to our body, and if you know your body so well, what it craves or what it wants, it will tell you.
I like that you said that. Yeah, it sounds like your body's letting you know that it wants those healthy fats.
You know, it's funny because sometimes I have low blood pressure. And before even I get to that point, my body craves so much salt. So much so I go for those nuts. And I learned, I think, because when I was in my 20s and I used to model and I would be on those crazy diets, and I will gain weight from water. People wouldn't believe me, but my body would gain weight. And then after I had my children, I said, no more. And I never diet ever since. It's been, my daughter's going to be 18 for 18 years. I don't diet. I don't gain weight from anything. I love bread. I don't eat rice. I don't eat pasta, really, but I love bread. I don't deprive on anything. It's just a portion control and listening to my body. If I don't want to eat for 6 hours, I don't eat for 6 hours. If I want to eat every 3 hours, I eat every 3 hours, but I don't eat a lot. And a lot of people always like, well, what's your secret? I'm like, I don't have a secret. I listen to my body. I eat the foods that my body craves, but naturally. And I don't know if it's natural or it's something like I love vegetables. I love fruits. I mean, now I implement more meat because I need that protein, you know, or it's fish or it's chicken. And it always worked for me.
No, but that's good. It sounds like you're eating a lot of like whole foods.
Yes. Yes. And I don't like, that's why it's like when I see my daughter loves to buy those protein powders, I'm like, oh my God, just look at this. Like when you mix them, they're so gooey and it's like a glue. Like imagine in your stomach what it does inside of you. This is horrible. And maybe because I was raised with none of these things, you know, and to me, I look at it, it's like, no, I don't even want to, it doesn't even look good to put in my body. And I think I worship my body to the point it's, you know, I want it to feel good and not just look good because it feels good to, you know, to feel good, not just how it looks. And I don't know, it's a very different generation now with advertising so many products, so many powders, add this powder, add that powder, and it becomes too much. And then I start thinking like, well, how does your stomach digest all that stuff?
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely a lot for the body. And then if you think about it too, like our bodies are just amazing on everything that it can do. So that's what I like to tell my clients, kind of like how you are, listening to your body, having that positive relationship with your body and food as well. Because a lot of people will tell me, well, I don't want to eat food. I'm just going to avoid it because I don't want to gain weight. But then it's going to come back as stress. Kind of like how what you went through, that when you had water, you would just gain weight.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I did go, once I started eating food, you do gain weight, but it's what I say, your body learns to burn those calories. Because in the beginning, if it doesn't know how to burn fat from all that different foods, it doesn't know, but then it gets used to.
Yeah, your body's smart. Your body knows what to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Unfortunately, our show came to an end, but we learned so much. Oh my God. Now I know that I need for sure sweet potato for my ovaries and a woman cannot skip meals more than 4 hours. I didn't know that either because I thought intermediate fasting is kind of good for you. So I learned something new. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I go.